I think we're live, folks. It feels real good to be back. It's been a hell of a day. And I do apologize for anybody who's coming in here and getting a little thrown off by that. But I, unfortunately, took a really big fall today and am going to be kind of wonky because my neck's a little messed up. My body's a little messed up. It's very snowy in Minnesota, and that's a hazard. In case anybody was wondering. So for anybody who is curious, it is very snowy in Minnesota. And very slippery, and also I have a dog. Good evening, Melvin. It's good to see you. Glad to see a whole bunch of people here. So today we are going to be existing in a really fun blank void of Pepakura. We will essentially be going through some of my old junk folders, because a couple weeks ago we actually had an opportunity to sort of start doing that because we finished our War Machine armor a little bit early, and people seem really interested in what I've just got sort of buried in there. So I thought we could just take a deep dive. So we got a nice fun blank void to start with. Let's see. Should I start? Should I start? It's good to see you too, Landon. Should I start in our old finished folder, or should I start in our unfinished folder? Because this is going to be a little bit of an experiment. We're just kind of going to town and seeing what's in here. I'd love to see what you guys are looking for. Pepakura. Oh, also, if anybody's curious, check out our Facebook page. Daft Punk just broke up, which is the big sad, but fortunately for the cause makers out there, there's a lot of people and a lot of support if you still want to try and make something of theirs and really enjoy their designs. So I've released some templates for both the Guy Manuel and the Thomas helmet. They're both fully fleshed out. I have a really fun time-lapse video of those. All right, well, I'll just go ahead and dive in then. Let's dive into the unfinished folder. We'll dive into the unfinished folder. Let's see. I'd say we just start from the top and start kind of messing around. This one says it's unfolded. Oh, it like almost is. This looks like the Arkham Knight Batman Beyond without the lips. This one looks like it has like the rebreather in it, or like a false face for that. Actually, I wonder. Go into the object list. No, it's all one object. Yeah, but you can kind of see where I was going with this. I think I finished these templates. Actually, though, I wonder. I'm gonna open up a second one of these. Actually, I'm going to go like this. Oh no, my bare desktop. I'm going to open up a second one here. Yeah, and I think in the finished folder, perhaps. Maybe? Batman Cowl. Arkham Knight? No, it's Batgirl. Did I upload it? Batman, maybe not. Maybe I didn't finish it. Okay, well that's interesting. Maybe I just kind of mess around with this for a minute. He looks pretty done, honestly. One moment. I just need to let my fiance know. Hey, Deoxys. I gotta let my fiance know that wings are coming up the elevator. She'll know what it means. Fantastic. You know what? I'm just gonna call it real quick. Do this. And so I think we could just kind of mess around in here for a minute. If I wanted to just go through and hide these lines, this thing would be basically done. I think. Not entirely certain where each of these pieces goes, but you know, we'll take a look. Looks like that's a separate piece right there. Yep, just like that. Wow, that already looks way cleaner. Just gonna let it. Just so she knows. All right. Let's see here. Man, this thing was almost done. It's kind of hard to believe I abandoned it in this state. I really thought I finished this. Well, that's okay, though. Because now we get to look at it with fresh eyes and say, man, what a crazy freaking helmet. Look at that. Erase, erase, erase. Going around here. I think that's just like a flat face. Yep. Same dealio there. These guys are the sort of recesses in the middle of the cheek. You can kind of see right there where I'm erasing it. So we don't really need these edges, but we do need some of the edges because it's not altogether a blank space. Yeah, like that. It's alright. Actually, I'm looking at it now, and I want to keep that line. There we go. That's better. Why don't I just set the angle lower? I'll tell you why I don't just set the angle lower. And it's not because that's a bad option. So what he's referring to, folks, you can actually set the angle lower and it'll remove some lines below a certain tolerance. But I like to do it this way for a number of different reasons. The chief among them, and this is going to sound mean, which is that then they're idiot proof. Because there's no fiddling with this that returns those lines. You can remove them, but I can't see any instance where somebody goes, ah, yes, I shall remove this line. To some degree, and of course I do know that trying to, like, idiot-proof templates is a losing battle in general. Not because there's a bunch of idiots out there, just because it is a complicated program. There's a lot going on, and that's normal. I don't begrudge the fact that this is a very complex program with a lot going on. But I do it this way because I can also control which lines that I want. Because sometimes a line might be flat on a face, but in the texture, if I turn the texture on, there might be a detail that's basically flat, but I want to keep the line there in certain special ways. I actually might have a good example of this if I ever get off this particular piece. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to release all of these right away, but I will say that I'll definitely try to get around to at least some of these, because these are really cool. There's a reason I'm going through this process right now, and part of it's because, yeah, it's kind of fun. But the other half of it is, you know, there's a lot of, like, good knowledge buried in these file folders that I think a lot of people would enjoy messing around with and just kind of having to dink around with. There we go. All right, I'm going to yell for my fiance. One moment. Fantastic. All right. We ordered some wings, but they didn't get here until we started streaming. There we go. Let's see, we'll get rid of this. Don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need that. Yeah. Also, it's worth noting that I knew that coming through this, you know, there'd probably be some fun questions to answer. Because Landon, I think you're totally right. That's a totally valid way, as it were, to get at trying to do some really complicated work really fast. But I definitely am of the opinion that when I have the opportunity, I like to try and go through and just erase the lines that I don't want anybody to use, because it will ultimately wind up with something that is closer to what I intended. You know, when you're trying to do tutorials for people, that's kind of the end all for it. What is going on here? It's such a weird... Why does it look that way? Oh, I think it's because that's the line. Oh, okay. Well, this can just sort of... Well, there's an edge there. There's an edge right like there. Yeah. But the rest of this is pretty much to be got with. What good is... again, I totally agree with what you're saying there, and it's a totally valid way to go through and do that. But when I go through and do that, I have had people go through and do things like say, I've actually, okay, so this is a personal frustration that I see a lot. So I consider the act of what I do fairly transformative for these pieces, you know? Like, you come away from this, my templates, I think, are significantly transformative from a lot of the... Yeah, I'm with you there, Day Access. Like I said, if I just lower it, sometimes there'll be very flat lines that I need that I can't get to because I've lowered it. And again, part of what I'm getting at is that, you know, sometimes I'll run into this problem where essentially people will take the work that I do and then they'll tweak it just a little bit and call it their work. And that's always really rough. I don't think there's anybody in the 3D modeling world who doesn't know the pain of the very specific thing that I'm describing. But more so than that, I'll get people who try to go through and they say, oh, well, I lowered the tolerance a little bit. And I would argue that the way I do it would make that worse. And that's rough. And I don't like when people release things that are my work, but no, I'm not credited. And I don't like when people release things and they call it my work, but they've changed it to be objectively worse. For instance, I've got a really great example of this. I had a guy who, for some reason, at one point in Pepakura Library, really decided that the thing he was going to do was to go through all of my old files, just like specifically the ones I had unfolded, and he didn't like that these were on multiple pages. So God bless him, what he did is he went through and he just crudely, like, separated along lines until they were capable of sitting on one page, each part. And I was like, so what do you do afterwards? He was like, oh, well, I tape them together to make one piece. And I was like, why did you need to undo all of the work I did to do that? And this is something that I talk about when I talk about Idiot Proof, because it's a lot harder, because I think people who are new to the program especially don't know that there's more lines in here. And that's objectively a good thing. I don't want them to know that. Like, I want them to watch and learn and grow and learn the ways to edit the things into the way they want them. But I don't want people who are super new to it, who don't care to learn about Pepakura, I don't want them to feel like they need to go through and do a bunch of editing. I don't want to leave a bunch of weird options to them that they don't understand when this works. And I get that that's maybe a little cynical, but I do think it's nice. Now, the one thing, you know what, I will do, okay, so don't expect this for all of them. What I think I'll go ahead and do is try to do some page optimization for just this one. And the rest of them, I'll do all sorts of different things. Yeah, foam is totally different to paper peps. And that's the big thing, is that I don't even remember who it was, but it was just some dude who really got it in his head that he needed to go through all of my files and change all of them one by one, which is just such a... It's such a specific mood. And that's part of why I do this, is just to make sure that there's that sort of end-to-end control of, like, if you, to some degree, if you want to change my files, you're going to have to start from scratch and re-unfold them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I encourage people to re-unfold builds all the time. To a lesser degree, it's what I do on this channel. It's, you know, there's a lot of other things going on, I'd like to say, but I do that a lot, and it's a good thing because I think the prop community as a whole benefits from it. But I think that when I'm trying to release something, I want people to, you know, how do you line them up when printing? My fear is that I'll line up the templates that cross pages wrong and the prop won't work. So there's no reason that the way you put them across the page should really matter. And I know that there's a lot of caveats to that, but the good news is that foam is super malleable and super easy. But of course, just rudimentarily, these lines are the page. And so when I go to print and paper settings, whoops, that's texture settings. When I go to print and paper settings right here, I work in letter pages because that's what I mean. And so the way I sort of trick this is I make sure that my tolerances are really good. And I sort of try to avoid putting pieces across the cross section of 4 pages. That's probably the only thing I really avoid. Everything else is pretty much fair game. I do try to avoid putting things across pages if I can. Like, this kind of sucks, objectively. This fits on 1 page, so if I can fit it on 1 page, I would sure like to. So, like, there. See, so I'd rather do that than this. But these big pieces, doesn't really matter. I just try to avoid going across these cross sections because I don't like having to line up 4 pages to make sure 1 line is straight. And that's just kind of, if for no other reason, that it's just kind of a pain in the ass. Just big pain in the butt. And that's not something I like to deal with. Now this, I might be getting a little sloppy near the end of this. I'm kind of getting tired of doing this, so I'm trying to be clear with my work, but maybe I could fit this page of stuff over on all this, but I'm going to leave that there. I'm actually just going to move this up to here so that then it's 1 through 7 there, just cutting that off right there. Yeah, after printing, I've actually shown my after printing process before. I've got a really great live stream that I did quite recently, I think, which was it was scaling and printing Dr. Fate templates. And I also showed how to sort of line everything up so that you could get full templates out of it. And it was a really great live stream, and I really enjoyed doing that. Yeah. What is this? Arkham Knight Batman Cowl by Renewolf. Oh, it looks like Renewolf pulled this from... I know I didn't keep going with this one. It was because it does 2 things that I hate. One is that there's detail in the gaps. Because these don't all just press together. There's actually like pieces that would go under that as like gaps. And I hate doing that. I would need to remodel this to add pieces under that. So I didn't continue with this. But this is also like pretty clearly like a rip from the game, which is why some of these faces go in kind of wonky directions, as you can see. But I got pretty far with this one. I just don't really care to finish it, especially since I think there's people out there with better models for this. Like, I would probably find a new model before I continue with that. Oh, I remembered this. I can't release this out of deference to a fellow maker. So Matthew Matangi created a really cool Batman armored helmet. It is a shame that I can't share this because he actually sells a completed version of this file. When he was first working on it, he actually sent it to me, and he wanted to see what I thought of it and what the template would look like if I finished it. And I created one originally, and he didn't like it quite as much. And then I said, well, would you allow me to go through and sort of smooth some of the edges? And what you're seeing here is actually a smoothed version, I would say a more high-definition version of the templates that he originally sent to me, because I used this tool in the 3D menu edit mode, Subdivide Edges, and I sort of subdivided across here to create some very clean lines. That's why these templates look so nice over here. But he really liked a lot of what I did on this, and he used a lot of the notes that I had about it to create the final 3D model, which is not just smoothed in Pepakura. I do know that I'm kind of a hack that way. But he very graciously reached out for me for assistance on this one. And sort of the trade-off with that was that I got to keep a copy of this particular Pep. And I really do love it. I really do. Someday I may build this because I do like Batfleck, but not today. Today is just about digging deep into this folder. Let's see. Batfleck Take 2. Oh, these are actually This is actually an early version of an edit that is actually templates you can buy from me. I made some very nice Batfleck templates. Well, they're pretty far removed from where this one was. But I made Batfleck templates that you can buy from my Etsy shop. I sell templates, some templates, on my Etsy shop. So if you want to support the channel, check out the Etsy shop. I have builds and I have templates. Let's see. Let's keep going. Biomask Predator. Oh! I might have to give this a shot. Who made this? Who's the, progenitor of this file? The author? There's no author information. Hang on. There's no author information here. I don't know who made this. I think I've seen this model floating around, though, before. It's really cool. I actually just did a Predator mask. My patrons have those templates right now. But this one's really cool. I do not think I'll be doing this right now. I weirdly feel like this Pep model might not lend itself well to foam for a couple different reasons. Not the least of which is that there's clearly just some vaguely intersecting faces there. But also just because, you know, when you get discs and things like that, it can get kind of complicated fast. I usually recommend for stuff like that, you found objects are really nice. Like, for instance, the sort of bits on the rebreather of, like, a clone trooper. I think that, not dowels, what's the word I'm looking for? Spools, like thread spools, make really good bits for that. And so you don't have to do a bunch of extra work. You can just kind of glue those into place. I'd probably recommend something like that here, trying to find a piece of hardware that looks sort of like a round disc in various sizes, and then you're kind of cutting out a lot of shaping and cutting and yada, yada, yada. That's really not worth it. Let's see. Biomask. A Bison Skull. Huh. I guess I was just working on a Bison Skull at some point. This looks like I smoothed the heck out of it. It's not bad. It probably makes some good templates when all was said and done. But, God, I have no idea what possessed me to make a Bison Skull. Yeah, because look at this. This sort of lines up there. And if I just sort of run this around like that, you can see how this, how this would sort of make a Bison Skull, I guess. Why was I making a Bison Skull? I don't know. Can you guys think of a good reason to make a Bison Skull? I have no idea what the hell this is about. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. I would probably do it like that. So I get that there's some liberties taken with the overall shape, but the outer shape's pretty good there. And if I were to just go join adjacent edges like that, that's not too bad. It's kind of big. I think this is just scaled really far up. Hang on. Yeah, it's 32 inches deep. That's not right. Let's call it like half that. Let's call it like 18. I know that's not half. Don't get on my case. Yeah, and it's like, why the hell was I doing this? What is this? What was the purpose of this? Yeah, because now if I would join that, yeah, so you can see how this sort of makes one sort of side of the skull. I don't know, maybe I'll finish that at some point, just because skulls? I don't know. There's the original skull. Let's see, Black Panther. Oh yeah, I did finish this one. I don't know where this... I have a second... So I have two versions of Black Panther. I've got this one and another one. So this one has more, I would say, a more correct shape. But the other one has more detail. And I don't know, that's always a big toss-up for me. I believe your whip library is deep, Diaxis. And I definitely, like, introduced this as, like, I am a hoarder. There was just a period of time where anytime a Pepakura file kind of came my way, I was just like, download it. I'll get to it at some point. And it results in huge folders like this. And I've got to add to this because on my laptop now I've just got a ton of this kind of stuff. I try to be more diligent though. I actually try to finish things as I download them. If for no other reason than they make great releases. Ooh. Well, that's really cool. Let's see. Oh, this is a file by Aztlan. And I was trying to re-unfold it. It's not bad. I remember what the thing about this was. This is actually a really great... Hell no, I'll never purge these files. I'll buy 3 more computers before I purge these files. You'll have to pry them from my cold, dead hands. LOL. I think I remember what the problem was with these files. And when I say problem, it's not really a problem. It's just the reality that to model this together, yep, Aztlan or AZT LAN, I don't know. It's a ton of different pieces. And that's not necessarily a bad thing because it allowed him to really dig in on the geometry of a very complicated where's the what? Oh, there we go. A very complicated mask, you know. But it does make it kind of hard to make foam unfolds because OG helmets are better. Oh, you mean the like the G1 Transformers? Yeah, no, they're better for Pep because they're also just like super blocky and that's fun. But no, but this is a super complicated mask, and Aztlan did a great job modeling this, but it just doesn't lend itself well enough for foam that it's worth unfolding. You kind of wind up with something that you can see these parts just look kind of weird. I wasn't really sure where to combine things. Yeah. That would be why it sits forever in the unfinished folder. Oh, man. That is hilarious. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. PDS. Oh, this is a full suit of Batman vs. Superman armor. Wow. Oh, I can totally tell why I didn't finish this. This is just daunting as hell. Not to mention, it's not as popular anymore. But you can see how, here, I'll actually kind of show off because this is a pretty good version of this helmet, right? But you can really see how Matthew Matangi's helmet just looks better. That's a shameless plug for a fellow maker. Dude does good work. Let's see, a C-3PO head. Oh yeah, I finished this a while back. I did an unfold of this. I think I released it on Pepakura Library. Yeah, where I went through and I did a re-unfold of this, and it was pretty simple. A lot of the big basic shapes. That model unfolded. Are you talking about the Batman model? Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to send it my way, I wouldn't mind. I'm not super. It's not high on my list of things to be doing. I'll probably unfold it at some point. It's just not something that I'm super down for right now. Captain America. Oh, this is just a 2D Master Mod. Master Mod does good work. I won't bash the good name of Master Mod, but I will say this is kind of an overly complicated way to make a 2D template. Yeah, no, Matthew Matangi's Kylo Ren is 100% the best one out there. I'll stand by that. Let's see. I do like Rundowns, though. Rundowns got a really good edit of the model for foam that I've fussed with before, but Matt's is better. Let's see. Captain Rex helmet. Oh, this is my Captain Rex helmet. This is the Captain Rex helmet that I have on my channel. I don't know why it's unfinished. Captain America shield. This is just a Captain America shield. You can see why I wouldn't bother finishing this, because it is just a Captain America shield. Let's see. Cap shield. Classic Doom helmet. Oh yeah, I unfolded this a while ago. So when I was just starting to get back into like Pep stuff over the summer and trying to really double down on some skills that I was trying to, put front first. I did this Doom unfold, and this is a really great model of the OG Doom guy. And I think this turned into some pretty decent foam templates. It's one of those things that's a little difficult because it's such a complicated helmet that it does sort of come off as not being very simplified. You want to see that Daredevil? I'll show you the Daredevil. There's a lot of Daredevil down here. Let's see. This is actually a Dishonored mask. It's got texture and everything, but it's a very complicated model. Beneath that, looks like, yeah. Oh, this is, okay. View setup. I'm going to change the viewing angle and sort of flatten it out. This was one of the original helmet models that went out there. For a Daredevil cowl from the Netflix show. And I could not for the life of you remember who, or I could not for the life of me tell you who made this. It's somebody on the replica prop forums. It was pretty good. You know, this nose is kind of weird. Shape's a little funky. But I was so in love with that show at the time that I would have done just about anything to get my hands on this. So I want to say I paid like $15 for it. So this can never be released. But the trade-off was that this was pretty good for the time. Then I want to say E60 something made his own, and it was objectively of the same quality. See, this is Daredevil cowl. Oh, see, it's the same thing, but it's just the dude's original unfold. This just says Daredevil. Yep, this is it. So E60 something or other did this model, and this one's a little wonky because I think this is the version before somebody went through. Yeah. So this is the version that was just flipped. And then somebody went through and actually just joined those in Blender before I could get to it. And somewhere out there is an unfold of this very same helmet, still very, very nice, that is totally free. So, you know, I could release this if I could find the one I finished. Let's see, Darth Malgus? Darth Malgus for breather, anybody? I don't know, it's basically a square face with some tubes. It's alright. Did it need a foam unfold? Younger me thought it did. It has no texture. That's great. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Oh, this is like a JF custom thing. This is like the DC Hawkman. It's an intense looking build. I don't think I'll ever do it. Ugh. Any samurai stuff? Pfft. I don't remember ever downloading any samurai stuff. Let's look at S. Space Marine and Star Wars. No, I don't think I've got any samurai stuff. At least not in this folder. Maybe in another. I don't know. We're in the D's. By Deathstroke. Ooh. Oh, this was like from the Justice League movie. This was like Necroster's take on the Deathstroke mask. God, that actually looks pretty good. That might be worth a good release. Just because this looks sharp. I did a pretty good job unfolding that. I'll pat myself on the back. I could probably update that though. I think maybe with some of what I've learned about adding flaps around certain pieces, that could be very useful. Yeah, oh, there's the Doom guy with like full attribution. Alex Kuhn. Or Kun. I don't know. Skull? Dragon Skull? Oh, yeah. I've seen this one on a lot of different groups. Oh, man, I got pretty deep into unfolding this before I gave up on it. Wonder why. Oh, it was probably because this gets so jagged in the back, I would need to go through and do a bunch of smoothing to make it, like, usable. And I'm lazy. And I was just lazy. That's all that is. Let's see. An engineering suit. Oh, hey. It's from Dead Space, that is. It's pretty cool. I think I have a version of this somewhere, but with, like, texture. And I finished it. Oh, God, I wonder what I did with it. We may never know. These are just... Oh, those are like droid arms. Cyborg Ninja. Darkside 501st. Oh. Now, see, I know I finished this one. Hang on. Hang on. Is that... Yep. No. Hang on. I know I finished this one. Maybe it's in here. Yes, here it is. I did finish this one. Oh, I was proud of this one. So I think this is Metal Gear Solid Gray Fox. Hang on, I've got to figure this out. It's Metal Gear Solid. And I'm a fake fan. Is there a way to get the file from Pep Viewer? Sorry, Landon, are you asking if there's a way to take a file that's locked in Pep Viewer and turn it into a file in Pepakura Designer? Because I have an answer, but I think it's a bad answer. Yeah, so the short answer is no, absolutely not. Because that's the way the program is designed. Now, I will not tell you at all how to try and get around that, because I think that, no, you can't. It doesn't have an export feature, and that's kind of the point of Pepakura Viewer, is it's for people who don't want you to do that. Because I can take this 3D, this PEP file that I've finished up here, and you can see it just sort of as a callback, I avoid the cross sections here because I think they're hard to do across, see? But I will not tell you at all how to do that, because you can see in the export feature, I can export this as a locked PDO, so read-only PDO, which would be a Pepakura Viewer file, or I can add a password to this. And I think it would be a grave breach of trust of the community for me to try and show you how to try to break that, because with all software there's going to be ways to try and get around that. You know, that's just me speaking from a knowledge of how programs work. Of course you can, crime bad. Actually though, crime bad. Like you wouldn't download a car, like an actual car. But I think that would be bad. And I think that if you pursue those avenues, you pursue them at your own risk, because those sites for pirating things get sketchy fast, and that's all I really want to say about that. This program is a free program. It's a one-time fee if you want to use it for like forever on your computers. Buy the program, respect modelers, respect their wishes. Especially since the 3D modeling scene is so flooded. Seriously, if you're looking for 3D models and you find one that you think works perfectly and they've released it as a view only file, shucks, there's going to be another one. So there really is no way to do that, not without kind of breaking a lot of the rules that I consider to be very, very important to operating in the cosplay world. Let's see, Helm of Ungol. Oh yes, I've made this. I actually sold this recently. But yeah, no, super overly simplified template for a Helm of Ungol. I don't actually know. Let's see. This just says helmet. The hell is that? Oh, it's Dirge. I feel like I did this on a past stream. Oh man. Oh god, I'm so sorry. Let's see. Mark 7 270. Oh, this was the file that I actually used to make this for a program in college. So I've talked about this before a little bit, but this appears to be the actual template that I used at the time. Now I didn't actually make a seam down the center. That's a flat line that I've created right there. So I just flipped the pattern over. This was just to save paper space, and see, I did the same thing there, so there was no seam, and I basically wound up with a template that was Is that not actually one piece? Where is this? Oh, Control-Shift-G. Now I gotta know. Oh, right. Because this is actually a separate piece. But the rest of that is one piece. Okay. That's cool. Little bitty facts. But yeah, no, this is a super simple thing. And I actually, there's no line that connects to there, even though that's how it looks on the actual helmet. So what it is I just painted back in one line right there to show where it connects to the line over the back, and then I just drew it in by hand, which is a lot easier than it sounds. Man, there's a lot of weird random Iron Man stuff here. Iron Man Mark III chest, a fully unfolded Mark III chest. Why? That's it. It's not like I did the Mark III. It's just the chest. That's pretty good, though. That's a pretty good mock-up. Wow. Especially since I can tell that is not all one piece. Yeah, this is like a grouping of parts. But that looks pretty good. Oh, man, you can put this together really fast with these templates. Holy hell. Maybe I should do the Mark III. Dang. God, I love doing this. This is so much fun. Yeah, yo, there's that rundown file. So this is my Kylo Ren take. I sort of got rid of this. I think there's a version of this where I actually don't have that somewhere. But you can see I've actually simplified it down so that all of the facial feature here is one piece that you just sort of etch in. And then this across the top, also one piece. Yeah, I made one of these at one point, and it was really, really easy. It was like disturbingly easy. Which again, Matt's helmet's better if I'm remembering exactly what it looks like. It's just got a better shape. But this was a moment of personal pride. Let's see here. Man, we're really chugging along now. A life-size skull. All right. Oh, that doesn't feel very lifelike at all, but I unfolded it at one point. Yeah, I mean, it's a skull. It would make a skull, especially if you cut it even smoother and sanded it down. I don't... Somebody will ask for it someday, and I'll be like, I've got one. It's here. Why do I need this? Yeah, really big eyes. But also, the way the templates generate it here, I'll actually go back to that for a moment, because I think it's a good point about skulls, and especially in patterns in general. Because of the way I've made it, you can see this is uninterrupted. So if I didn't like the shape of the eyes, all I'd have to do is just redraw that shape on the template. I don't need to break it up and like rejigger it until it's what I want. I could just doodle that on. Yeah, I bet you that would be pretty fun for Halloween, actually. I've actually just sort of gone as like Iron Man in the past because I had an Iron Man's torso for some time. Let's see here. Infinity War. Oh. Well, I must say it's a pretty good unfold. You can sort of see the same visual elements as like what I did with the Mark VII, where it's sort of the over the top of the head, faceplating around the sides, and then sort of the back. But yeah, that's not bad. No, I don't want to save changes. Screw that. Let's see here. Magneto Apocalypse. Oh. Well, that looks pretty good. Huh. That is a fully finished set of Magneto helmets. Or Magneto templates for his helmet. From Apocalypse. That's a really easy template. Yeah, because that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a 6-piece helmet. That's not bad. Dang. There's a lot of lost stuff down here. There's another Magneto helmet. It's first class. That is not unfolded. This is Dung Zero Beetle, I think. It's pretty good, though. I kind of don't like that the main body of the helmet doesn't end the seam down the middle. It sort of ends square. You can see that here if I actually ratchet all the lines. This is a personal pet peeve. The skull templates? Yeah, sure, I can upload the skull templates. Why the hell not? Sorry, but you can see how this dome ends in a flat face in the center, whereas for symmetry, I would want to have a line down the center, so I'd have to add a line in there, and that's just kind of a bummer. Let's see. Was there another Magneto? No. This is the Mandalorian helmet that I've been working on. This just says Mark V. Oh, this is a brand of Pepakura that I'm not a big fan of, and it's like because I don't like to do it, which is it's models that have very little detail to them. They're very low poly, but the texture's quite fun and quite good. So if I were to do this, I'd probably like ratchet it way the hell down, tape it all together so the texture could shine through, and that'd be kind of fun. But I don't like to work with it as is. It's just not fun for me. No offense to Paper Masters Unfold Brazil. That's just not fun for me. 5 Mega Man helmet. Holy hell, this is a fully complete Mega Man Unfold that I did. When did I do this? What? That's really good too. This looks super fun. Oh my god. How did I... Oh man. Past Jaden just leaving it all on the table. Jeez. This just says Mark 46 torso. Yeah. Yeah, oh, no. See, because this also sort of falls into that same trap of the texture's a lot more detailed than the model, so it's not... I can see why I wouldn't have a lot of fun working on this, because I'd essentially have to print the patterns with the texture on. That would take so much ink. Oof. I'm an adult. I have to buy ink. Ugh. New Cylon head. Ooh, this is another complete unfold that I did. What? This is like a Cylon from like the reboot. Oh, that looks cool. I don't remember doing this at all. It has no texture. That's kind of fine. Here, I'm gonna just shade it so I can see. Oh yeah, that looks great. Was I able to get this? Yeah, see, that's all like one piece there. Oh, that is cool. Wow. That's definitely going somewhere. This is just a shortcut in the middle of this. I don't need that there. Nova helmet? Oh, it's an OG Nova helmet I did. I know it says that up there, but this is my unfold. I don't know who Draco's Fire 83. I think my lucky star is that my handle is not super long and complicated. I know some people who have, like, Darkside 501st sounds on the face of it like a really weird line, but actually those things line up very, very well. Whereas, like, Draco's Fire 83 feels like a lot, man. Just feels like a lot. Feels like you're trying to prove something to somebody. Overwatch Reaper chest. Oh, that's right. Somebody had asked me if I could unfold Reaper chest from Overwatch, and I did. I did my best. Young me did his best. It's not bad, though. Got the basic shapes in there. Sort of stick it all together. That could work. Yeah, right, Diaxis? No, that's... Ugh. Ugh. Let's see, where are we? Red Hood for K. K is my little brother. I don't know what this is. I reckon... Looks like... Oh, this was like the fake Arkham somebody did. Red Hood for K. Oh, yeah, he had sent me this, so I never unfolded the other half. I was lazy because I didn't want to. But he really wanted me to make the shell templates for him, so I kind of made all of these. And I think this turned out pretty nice for just being kind of a quick job for my little bro. I think this turned out pretty nice. That's pretty cool. What do I got down here? This is another red hood. What's going on here? Oh. Well, that's very fun. I think this is like an original design that I unfolded at some point, I guess. Huh. I mean, I could see this being very pretty. As a pretty, like detailed and pretty as a Red Hood build, but I don't remember doing this. It's pretty cool. I don't know, if I were to take another stab at it, I'd probably like change up where some of these edges are lining up, but it's pretty good. We're nearly through the folder now, which is good because it's been almost an hour. Oh god. Oh, I finished this at some point. This is one of the Republic Commando helmets that I was fiddling with. It looks pretty good. It's definitely missing some detail on the top, but you know, what are you gonna do? RoboCop, yeah! Yeah, somebody was asking about this. This is Genkatsu Otaku or something like that. 3D model. It's pretty good. I had almost finished unfolding this. Great. All that's really left is the page optimization. Oh, no, I would redo some of this. I'm seeing it now. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I finish this at some point here. It's a really good 3D model. I really like his work generally. It lends itself really well to foam. This looks pretty good. I like a lot of it. And I do appreciate that he took the time on the texture to put the OCP police. That's very fun. That's an unnecessary detail that definitely tickles the cackles of my heart. Oh man, we're just about to the bottom here. It's a Space Marine. Oh yeah, no, I finished this Space Marine helmet. This is one of the earliest examples I can sort of point to of the way I would join edges to sort of show off one swooping plane, even though you would have to, you know, heat form that together, because of course you've got this sort of inner curve here, outer, it flattens out up here, but it's got a sort of an inner curve there. Yeah, no, this is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. What was the Obi-Wan file? Did I miss an Obi-Wan file? It's a Star Wars Obi-Wan chest by Onua 986. Looks like, oh, this is such a, oh man. This is a terrible unfold. I feel so bad saying that, but this is awful. It like has weird flaps. I mean, that helps, but like, oh, that's so weird. So many decisions here. I don't know, and something's going on here. I think this is, for some reason, I'm not exactly sure what, this is inverted. Like this one piece. Is there multiple? Just not. It's one object. For some reason, this one band is inverted. And that's awful. I hate that. This is so weird. Dirk Sander. Well, Dirk Sander, I think I have small bone to pick with you. I'll be critical of this. That's a weird thing that's going on here, and this unfold is also a little wonky. And it doesn't help that when you lay the pieces out flat, I can see the slight wonk in this file. Like that shouldn't boat out and then back in again. Like I get that this sort of looks correct, but that's just not correct, and that's unfortunate. But I can see why it was in my unfinished folder, and it will probably stay there. Let's see. Winter Soldier. Oh yeah, this is another one of those that has like a lot of detail bound up in the texture. But in this case, I don't mind as much because it allows me to simplify the form of the mask a lot, which is really valuable here. And also a great example of why you might want to have, you know, a line on the face of it, even though it's relatively flat. I might want to paint in a line again. Now, of course, that doesn't work quite as well here, but you can see how the mask sort of becomes two pieces with like goggle parts, gaggle parts, and that's pretty good. Congrats, Sinner. You did a good job. Then, oh, I have an original series Star Trek phaser. For some reason. Oh, here's a great example of something that I think annoys the hell out of me, but it doesn't need to. So, if you're in a position where you're re-unfolding a model anyways, undo the unfold, like this. Because I hate that this thing is naturally oriented to be sideways and like pointing off in the distance. So what I do, 3D menu, change coordinates, change model coordinates. I don't want to flip the faces, but the front is that green one for sure, and the bottom's definitely this red one. And now when you open up the file, it's this direction, and that makes way more sense. I'm gonna at least just save it like this, because that's way better. Author? Is there an author for this? Nope. That sucks. I try to attribute my files, I really do. Oh, and this was an X23. But I think I have a better X23 somewhere that I did finish. Yeah. Weird. Oh, I wonder if it's in my finished ones. It is. There it is. Yeah. Super easy. With just a little bit of trim. We love it. I don't know. This is like my finished-ish folder. Some of them are really old and not great. Like this is okay. I should probably fix it a little bit because that, oh god, that is a look that I don't like. But you can see kind of what I was going for. It's, I don't know. Some of my older files I'm really proud of. Some of them, not so much. Some of them, not so much. Like, who modeled... I used to be really, really diligent with this in the way I did it. It's like the details of Vision's head. Ta-da. Now you too can have Vision's head. But like it's pretty clean, it's pretty clear. You can see what I was doing. You could see how this would go together pretty well. It's just kind of a weird file. Like I said, I was downloading anything and everything that came my way, and that was just the way of it. Oh man, here's an Elven heavy helmet from Skyrim. Actually pretty proud of how simplified that is. Here's, gosh. Oh, here's that Magneto first class helmet. Oh, that actually turned out pretty nicely, but I wound up doing not symmetrical pieces, so you'd have to cut out all of them, which is kind of a bummer. I don't know. Oh man, you can see I made an error. This was supposed to go on the top. It's supposed to be on the page. It's not on the page. Oh, my shame. All right, well, on that grievous error, I think we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap up this. I really want to give a huge shout out to our patrons. Our patrons really help make this thing go. They help us do giveaways and whatnot. Austin, K-Snake, Pandulce, Jennifer Zayer, Matt G, Wilson Ferreira, Ruben, Dustin Wells, and Laura. Thank you all so much for being patrons. Really love it. And for our members who are voting members of the Patreon, we do have a new post up it's a poll for what our next full PEP is going to be. So I really do look forward to see what you're all looking for. But for now, I've been Jaden. Thank you all so much for joining me. This has been a great time. Maybe we get on to the next one in the next live stream, or maybe we just go through another one of my folders. I've got way too many. Oh man, we are so close to 1,000 subs. So if you like these channels, if you like these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We're like 30 subscribers away, so please share it with your friends, share it with your grandma. Anybody who's interested, let them know. But for now, I have been Jaden. Thank you all so much for watching, and take care.